Hey, everybody, it's the coach and...
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. And he had a nice play there from his free safety position to hold him to nothing.
And, Brandon, remember when the free safety was always back away from the line of scrimmage?
That's changed.
They always that changed in a big way. The way we see it now, they're almost mirrors between the free safety and the strong safety. One will be up, one will be back, or sometimes both will be in the same spot. On that play, the free safety was there, no gain.
That catch good for 5. It's third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 24. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Wilson snags it left side. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
On 2nd down, Jackson. Over the middle, that's caught by Ross. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And a look at the Steelers' defensive unit.
In today's NFL, you're not just looking for height from your cornerbacks. You're looking for length in order to combat the tall, wide receivers that they have to play against each and every week. And Artie Burns has all of that. In addition, he has the ability to change direction and make plays on the football in the air. And finally, he's a willing tackler, which is really key for cornerbacks today.
Now Jackson on 2nd down. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
First red zone chance now for the Ravens. They've got a 1st and goal to go at the 7. Now Jackson. They shakes him off. Forced out to his left. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
All right, here we go. 3-19! 3-19! Detroit! Detroit!
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
And, Brandon, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
This defense hasn't let them in yet. They'll need to stiffen here. 3rd and goal from the 2. Jackson. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker roll that they can fall back on anymore.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And the Ravens strike first at 3-zip. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. Now it's Wilson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage. Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Set! 3-19!
On 2nd down, it's Bell. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And this is going to be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Penalty stings big time there, wipes away a very good return.
And they work on it so hard because the goal is give yourself some space for your offense to really work. Try and gain an additional first down outside the 20 or 25-yard line. Instead, this one's going to come back.
They pitch it out to Johnson. And some room to roam now. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent game, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
Jackson now. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. There is no denying they want to get him involved. That's already the 5th time that they've looked his way in this first quarter.
So that tells me defensively that they want to insist on going in that direction. Make sure you got your best people in the area to try and take that away.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Granted, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. That's caught out left by Perriman. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right. And that's caught inside the 35. That one goes for 36 yards. You know, he's already thrown for more yardage in his first quarter than he did all of last week.
And I could be snarky here and say, well, he didn't throw for a lot of yards last week, but the bottom line is he put in a great week of practice and really came out ready to go in this one.
He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line. The numbers for Johnson in last week's game: 10 carries, 82 yards.
They look like a team that really emphasized the running game in the offseason. They were going to build.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis with you. It's the Ravens who have the football. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out. Here's Jackson. Dancing to his left. The quick feet by Jackson. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. A second nice move. And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. David Johnson, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Ravens will extend their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking. Beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
After the penalty, it's Bell. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. 4 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
A screen to Bell. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. They'll get 3 out of the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Looking for his receiver, Sharp, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. That's now a second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great.
And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. T.J. Watt coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
To throw on second down, Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks for those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Goes underneath for Bell. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's first and 10 just outside the 30. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. And a solid run down inside the 30. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Get him, boy. Get him, boy.
A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. They're looking at a 1st and goal from about the 9. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. They'll drop to throw. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Sterling Shepard, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 13-7. So here comes the kickoff, and what now is just a one-score, 6-point game. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tough.
Back in the first quarter, you said it. They need to avoid the big play, but he just got a big one right there.
You can't relax. You know, we talked about in the first quarter, but as the game progresses, still opportunities, and he took advantage of one there.
And he finds a man with a crossing route. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. 23 yards on the play.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. That's complete right around the 8. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Green 39! Green 39! All right, now.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson, and that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we're at halftime here in the Inner Harbor with the hometown Ravens on top. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Johnson. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. And let's check on the call.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Here's Jackson to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Detroit! Detroit!
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Got a man, it's Ross, complete. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A big play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches the football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Again, it's Bell. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Well, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Le'Veon Bell in this ball game, trying to find room to run the ball. I'm sure they're going to have to change some things up because he's so versatile. They've got to get the ball in his hands somehow and create some space because they're losing this game.
Well, defensively, you've got to key in on Bell, make him the focal point to stop him, and they've been able to do that. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
How much were they? A dime?
15 cents.
A great return there. Bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 46.
Gone!
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. It's caught inside the 25. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 43 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning.
The ball comes out, and this is going to kick out of bounds. Boy, a fortunate bounce or two there. They'll keep possession back inside the 10-yard line.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
Over!
On 2nd down, Johnson. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Watch it now, Barney! Over!
He may try and run for this. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. 3 yards on the keeper, and it's 4th down.
Leopard!
4th down, here's Jackson. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens Hopkins, touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Ravens will extend their lead. Big fourth down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on fourth down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
Now it's Wilson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And the Steelers set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll go again with Bell. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Now a first down carry by Bell. Bell sheds him off, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. A give to Bell. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Here we go.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good 3-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points It's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Flushed out right. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. A big play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. Tucker with the extra point. And they open the lead up now to 25. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a very good return, but a penalty marker is down. I'm not sure what this is going to be.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
All right, here we go. Boom, land it.
The give is to Bell. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence, because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. Seems pretty obvious defensively. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. Being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. And there to stop him, Terrell Edmunds.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
Watch you now, Barney. Barney.
Now a handoff, running off, tackle right. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
The Ravens on third down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 8.
Leopard. Leopard.
On the give, this is their fullback. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said. And now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what
Do you think
happened.
that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. It's a gain of 3, and it sets him up with 2nd and just 2 yards to go.
Not a whole lot there after the penalty, but remember, it was 1st and 5, not 1st and 10, so now they can keep grinding out first downs, and good things can happen for them. Just 2nd and short coming up.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They're going to look to throw over the middle, and it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
He'll drop to throw. It's caught. Shepard. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Well, they go with a slant that time, 15 yards and a first down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Throwing the out route and complete. That's Shepard. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Set. 3-19.
Back to throw now on first down. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Now Bell. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Running game working, they'll stick with it on first down. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Bell. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be third down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
And the Steelers on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. Here it's 3rd and 2.
Blue 90.
Now back to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. And his kick is right there. It's good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they take a knee. Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this.